How's it going, everyone? I am Kaz, and if you don't know me, I am a full-time LEGO Fortnite creator. And as you can tell by the title, today we're going to be opening up the discussion and talking about the state of LEGO Fortnite, where it might be headed, and just kind of honestly open up the conversation since it's something I don't do very often, really not at all on this channel. Now, this video specifically is one that I've been thinking about making for a while now. With some of the recent events, I feel like the community has been more vocal than it ever has been. And I just personally feel like I owe it to all of you who love the game or have loved the game in the past, as somebody with a platform, be able to speak out, and maybe hopefully Epic and the LEGO group can hear this and maybe take it as some feedback. But before we get into this video, I have to make it known, if it wasn't obvious already, I absolutely love LEGO Fortnite, and specifically in this video we're going to be talking really only about LEGO Fortnite Odyssey. Anyway, with me loving the game and being a creator on it, sure, there's little things that are broken in updates, but I really don't let that affect the videos too much. If you ever watch my update videos, even if certain parts of an update are broken, I'll usually just mention it and also give suggestions on how to work around it. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I don't let it affect the content, because really a lot of the time some of the smaller issues that are present in updates on launch day get fixed pretty quickly. My whole point here is, sure, I can harp on the little details about how maybe they miss on certain things when an update launches, but like I said, this video is not going to be me just tearing down LEGO Fortnite, because that would be counterintuitive, and I think it's much more helpful to open up a real dialogue here, present some solutions, maybe some things they can do in the future, and not just straight up bash the game. Like, that literally does nothing. So if that's the video that you were looking for, I'm sorry, it's not going to be here. Just a quick note, guys, as I'm editing this video, there will be timestamps down below, as at the beginning of this video, we're going to be going through the history of updates in LEGO Fortnite and talking about my opinions on them. And then after that, we're going to get into some solutions. Oh yeah, timestamps down below. But let's jump into this with the biggest complaint that the community currently has, and that's going to be the lack of updates in Odyssey this year. So scrolling through our news page here, you can see that on December 9th, we did get the best update, in my opinion, to all of LEGO Fortnite. That might be controversial, because I know certain people weren't overly excited with the overhaul of the crafting mechanics and basically everything in the game. But personally, for me, I think the LEGO Fortnite Odyssey update was one of the most fun and memorable updates of all time. They added so many new things, so many new quests, a bunch of new crafting, the storm caves with all of the storm enemies and the acolytes, obviously the end game. We were able to finally make items legendary. They actually overhauled a lot of things in this update. And for that reason, the sentiment was really high on this game going into the new year. Like I said, this update launched in December, and with the expectations being so high, I think everyone was ready for new content when the new year hit. But as you can see, that's unfortunately really not what happened, and I think that's where a majority of the issues from the community stem from. And stay tuned, because later in this video I'm presenting 3 ideas for the LEGO and Epic team that are watching this video, hopefully, on updates that I think me and the rest of the community would love to see, because like I said, I want to keep this video very constructive and I want to give solutions here. We can sit here all day and complain about the little things that might be broken, but I think it's pretty apparent that LEGO Fortnite will see all of the issues that are in the game and they will fix them. It's just a matter of time, I'm sure. Now, before I share some of my personal ideas, I do want to take a look at the updates that have come out this year, because as you can see, there are a few rows of blog posts which all indicate that there's new content in the games. So checking out the first update of the year, believe it or not, it came out in March, and obviously there's going to be little hot fixes here and there, but this post here goes on and highlights the new things that got added to the game in March, and that's going to be the recycler, wall mount changes, and then also some attack animation changes. Along with that, we did get a brand new Oro Lego pass, which was pretty cool. But as a whole, I think this update was really good. The only issue that players really had with this one was the fact that it took until March to get it. But when it did come out, I think sentiment was overall positive. I mean, the wall mount changes were great. We need more stuff like that in the game, by the way. Little quality of life things that just make playing the game and grinding it a little bit better. The wall mount changes definitely hit the nail on the head with that. We were finally able to actually make storage rooms that were meaningful and not just throw things in a random chest and try to remember where they were. Yeah, I think this is a great change and one that they should do more of in the future. Anyway, we're going to speed run through these updates. I don't want to spend too much time on them, but I do want to give a quick refresher on some of the things we have gotten this year. So the next update we got, which I believe was in April, is going to be the Oro treasure update. So this was less of an update. They only added these 3 containers here. And basically, they gave us quests to go out and find them. Unfortunately, it was a little bit broken at the beginning, and I'm pretty sure a lot of players just got them for free anyway. But I think the concept of what they did here was really interesting, and moving forward, I hope to see a lot more of this, maybe on a bigger scale. Instead of containers, maybe we can get entire build kits, and instead of small little challenges like just finding gold chests, maybe the quest lines are a little bit more expansive in the future. I feel like that's something that can definitely incentivize players to check out some of the new content and also bring players back into the game, because at the end of the day, that's what we're really trying to do here. Anyway, next update came in June. This one was obviously more focused on expedition since that mode just released, and then we also got our brand new Supernova Academy with the new season of Fortnite. Also, spires were added to our worlds in this update, but they were not active yet. And believe it or not, we're already to the end of all of the updates. The last one that we got is the one that activated the spires. That happened just over 2 weeks ago. So yeah, in this update, they activated spires, they added titans, as well as the brand new corrupted crystal material. And that's all of the updates that we got this year. Now, if we go back to this page, you can compare this to the updates we got last year. And oh my goodness, when you look back at stuff like this, you realize how spoiled we really were. There were such incredible updates in 2024, starting it off strong with Mechanical Mayhem. I have heard that this was actually the most successful and popular update for LEGO Fortnite. I mean, it really did bring players back. If you were playing during this time, you'll remember how fun it was to jump in and build cars. It completely changed how the game was played, and it changed how people traveled around their worlds in a way that you couldn't before. And overall, this update outshines really any update that we've gotten this year, candidly, in LEGO Fortnite Odyssey. A month after that, we got a whole new fishing update, which honestly isn't really too impactful for gameplay, but it did add a whole nother element and layer to the game. After that, we got Star Wars, which in my opinion was probably one of my favorite updates other than Odyssey. As a kid, I grew up playing LEGO Star Wars. It was my favorite video game. So to be able to do LEGO Fortnite Star Wars on a game that I'm creating content on was really a full circle moment for me and was honestly so special. Keep that in mind though, because I'm going to be coming back to that. Anyway, a month after that, we got expert mode. And then a month after that, we got fast travel stations. So 2 incredible updates in a row there. Then we got the Lost Isles update, which was a whole ton of content in itself. A month after that, in October, we thought we might get a Halloween update, but we got the Mystery of the Monolith Islands instead, which was still very fun. The LEGO group also activated a ton of LEGO Fortnite content creators to play these modes with each other, which was also really fun. And then, like I already talked about, at the end of the year, we ended with a bang and the LEGO Fortnite Odyssey update. Anyway, the next thing we have to do is acknowledge the bugs that are in the game, because that is the main frustration that players do have. Of course, everyone wants new content updates, but everyone probably also wants the game to just act as intended. For example, when they roll out something like the spires, everyone's gonna want them in their world. I think that's ultimately what it comes down to. And trust me, guys, I agree. I mean, I made a video searching for spires, and I also searched for spires on day one. I was able to find them just by going around my entire map. And if you still feel like you can't find spires near your villages, I would highly recommend just traveling around your map. That's what I did, and I found like 3 or 4 out in the wild. But this isn't just about the spire issues. This is about the overarching idea that updates are broken when they're launched sometimes. That might be one of the most frustrating parts of the game. So guys, I highly encourage, if you ever run into bugs, there are places that you can report them. Reddit's a great place. There's literally a bug tag, and when you do that, there will be people from Epic watching. So if you simply post your issue with a screenshot or a video and talk about how to reproduce that issue, if it's a valid bug, I'm pretty confident that somebody from the team will see it and will be able to address it. What they can't address, and something that I see quite a bit, are people complaining but not telling them what to do or how to fix their issues, which I think is a mess in itself. And obviously every single game is going to have that, but it's not productive. So that's not what I'm trying to do here. And speaking of productive, let's talk about those ideas that I have for the game that could make it better in the future. Now, as I'm getting into this portion of the video, let me know your best ideas for new content that they can add in the future, or ways they could go about updating the game in the future, ways they could go about avoiding bugs in the future. Anything you guys have suggestion wise, let me know down in the comments. Also, hopefully somebody from LEGO or Epic is watching this. I'll definitely be having a discussion down in the comments with you guys there. So yeah, I'll be hearting some of my favorites, and hopefully somebody reads it. So my first suggestion to anybody who works on the game that might be watching this video is a very obvious one, but it's just more frequent updates. Of course, this one is gonna sound pretty obvious, but it's just that the community wants something, anything, during these drier periods of the game. And when I say more frequent updates, obviously updates is pretty vague, so let's elaborate a little bit on that. And to do that, let's look at some of the more underappreciated or underused mechanics and things in the game, because I think a lot of these can be reworked for more player enjoyment. And a good example of that is going to be the food in the game. If you have hunger on in your world, or you're playing expert where it's forced to be on, you'll know that it's more of a chore than a pleasure. You don't really have a whole lot of fun crafting foods and things like that. And I think the main reason why is because you eat food, and then eventually you have to eat more food, and then eventually you have to eat more food, and you just keep having to eat food. How cool would it be if LEGO Fortnite took something that feels a bit like a chore and made it into something super fun? I think that they could rework the food system to get better and more diverse buffs than are currently in the game. And I think a good example of what I'm trying to talk about here is something like the banana pancake. I'm sure some of you don't even know that there is a banana pancake in LEGO Fortnite Odyssey, but yes, there is. It spawns on Lost Isles. When you consume it, it gives you like a movement buff. You could basically jump way higher, and when you combine it with sprinting, you can like literally jump so high in the air. It's one of the most fun food items in the entire game. Unfortunately though, it's so niche, and you have to get very specific resources in order to craft it, that you're basically never gonna do it. Outside of food though, another underappreciated area of the game is gonna be the fishing aspect of it. And obviously I already talked a bit about the Gone Fishing update. While it was cool at the time, nowadays it has basically no impact on gameplay. There's no reason to fish. Unless you're like looking for the Illuminator, I feel like there's really no reason to fish. So maybe that's another thing that they can kind of spice up a bit. Whether it's just adding in more fish that might be more rare, maybe there's larger fish, maybe they actually come in different sizes and that's a big flex if you get a big fish. I don't know. There's just a ton of ways that they can make fishing impactful for gameplay and offer more variety than what it currently offers. I've been playing a lot of Roblox recently, and one mechanic that I really like from some of the games is the rare pull mechanic, which obviously kind of exists in LEGO Fortnite. Technically, you could get legendary pulls, but like I said, they just don't really do much right now, and I'd love to see them do a bit more in the future. Another suggestion that I personally have been wanting to see for a very long time is an overhaul and a reworking of the rune forge mechanic. Basically, the way that upgrades and enchanting works in the game currently is you go out in the wild and you defeat enemies and complete tasks in order to get essence, and then you take that essence back to the rune forge and you can spend the essence to randomly roll and get a 1 of 3 choice at a different upgrade. If you don't like any of those 3 upgrades, you can re-roll for more essence, and then you can apply any of the upgrades for essence as well. And while I think this is a pretty good system and it's very similar to something that like you'd see in Minecraft, which honestly I have no complaints about Minecraft enchanting, the one thing that I'd love to see in a future update though is just adding more things that you could potentially do with your tools. Right now it feels like there's definitely a meta because of the lack of choices you have. Obviously you're always going to go with triple damage. Most of the time you'll go with durability as well. Most of the time you'll also go with luck, and that leaves you one slot to maybe do something a little different. But even then, it feels like half of the different things you can apply to your weapons are kind of useless. Like the last stand, where it just does a little bit more damage towards the end of the lifespan of an item, just doesn't feel too impactful. I mean, I always basically go with Berserk if I want to do something a little bit different, but outside of the upgrades that you're seeing here, I would just love to see more and more capabilities. And to leave you with some examples that immediately come to mind for me personally, an essence multiplier would be a really cool one to put on an item. Say you throw it on a sword, you go out in the wild and you get double the essence that you normally would. I think that would be a ton of fun. Another pretty cool set are elemental upgrades. So something like fire, ice, and wind could be really sick if, say, for instance, you hit somebody with your sword and they light on fire. Same thing with ice. Maybe you can freeze enemies, or maybe you can push them back with wind. And then the last thing that I thought of was in terms of movement. So like I talked about earlier with the banana pancakes, how cool would it be if, for instance, when you hit an enemy, instead of the berserk where you kind of just jump higher, maybe you have some sort of dash mechanic. And I know I teased the last idea and I've already talked about 2. I have a ton more, and if you want to see a follow-up video with more suggestions and maybe like a wish list, let me know in the comments. But for today, I need to talk a bit more about the LEGO Star Wars update. Like I said earlier, I was gonna mention that again later in the video, and now is that time. Not because specifically of LEGO Star Wars, but the overarching idea of Fortnite at its core, and also LEGO at its core. So if you don't know, which you probably do, Fortnite does a lot of collabs. Like they collab with every single IP that you could possibly think of. I mean, if we even just open my locker and scroll up, you could see that we have the whole DC series here. We have all of the gaming legends. We have all of the icons. That's not to mention literally all of the Marvel characters. What else do we got? We got Star Wars, and then randomly mixed throughout, we'll have other IPs as well. So there's just like every single thing you could possibly think of in this game. And if you think from the LEGO side of things, they also collaborate with all of these same IPs. I mean, of course, we've already talked about Star Wars, but on top of that, they have Marvel sets. They have sets from tons of other video games. Of course, we can't forget about ones like Batman and Spider-Man. Technically, Harry Potter, I don't think is in Fortnite, but there's just so many IPs that LEGO also collaborate with. Why have we not seen more updates with IPs in LEGO? And I mean, think about LEGO Star Wars, because that's the best example of it. That took us through an incredible journey from start to finish, just experiencing the Star Wars universe inside of LEGO Fortnite. And it felt pretty similar to the OG and absolutely iconic LEGO Star Wars games. How cool would it be if we got something like a DC universe in LEGO Fortnite? Like throw in Batman as an NPC and let us ride the Batmobile, have a quest where we actually have to build it, and then there's like a city. I don't know. There's so many directions that they can go with it. And I know not everyone is into superheroes, and LEGO has so many different themes. Think inside of the LEGO themes even. I mean, something like Ninjago would be so sick. I just think it's a big missed opportunity for LEGO Fortnite to really not focus in on the thing that makes everything that they do so special. And that's bring these different themes and series to life in ways that are meaningful for the people that play these LEGO games. And yeah, I just really hope in the future we could see some different sets and themes kind of come into play. It doesn't even necessarily have to be in our main Odyssey worlds. I mean, think back to that that Star Wars test event that only popped up for like a week. Obviously, there wasn't a whole lot of gameplay there. And I feel like that was a test event more than anything. And I'm kind of confused because we haven't really seen a follow-up of it yet. How cool would it be in the future if there was maybe like even a pop-up test Odyssey event for something like LEGO Fortnite Harry Potter? Possibilities are endless there, and I'm really excited to see what they do in the future with IPs because I think it's definitely on their radar. I mean, I would be shocked if it wasn't. Bringing more of that kind of thing into LEGO Fortnite Odyssey would really spice it up and bring a lot of different fan bases together, in my opinion. Anyway, I know I said there would be 3 main suggestions in this video, but I just thought of another one, and it's the fact that traversing the world in Odyssey, I'm gonna call it what it is, it's gotten boring. If you've played the game for long enough, I feel like that's true. If you're a newer player, maybe that's not true, and that's amazing if it's not boring for you yet. But eventually you get to a point where the best way to travel around the map is just gonna be with bus stations, and you're just gonna put them down. You're never gonna want to traverse on the floor in your map at all because there's no point. So whether it's reworking the caves, whether it's just adding more things around the world to incentivize players to actually go check them out, I think that if moving forward, the best way to ultimately travel around the map is just to use a bus station at all times. That just means the world isn't fun enough to traverse, and I would love to see that change in the future. I think my main suggestion there would just be a cave overhaul and maybe just adding some more resources to the game. I'm sure, again, that's on the radar. I think everything that I mentioned today is hopefully on their radar, but if not, I'm just trying to spark some light and some conversation into what could be changed in the future and what us as players want to see. Of course, guys, we have hero classes coming to the game very soon. Those did get delayed, but I have high hopes that the hero classes will be a really, really cool update. It's going to completely change the way the game is played. So stay tuned to the channel because I'll be covering all of that along with everything on LEGO Fortnite, guys. At the end of the day, I'm still very hopeful for this game. I think there are way brighter days ahead, and I'm so excited to see what the LEGO team and the Fortnite team cook up. I'm going to keep pumping out content as much as I can, so make sure you're subscribed for all of it. And again, comment down below. Hopefully some people that work on this game are watching this video, and I would love to have the conversation carry on down there. I'd love to hear more about some of your guys' pain points with the game, maybe some ideas you have, some suggestions for the devs, so on and so forth. But if you enjoy this different style of video, drop a like. It really, really helps me out. And yeah, if you want to see more videos like this where I'm a little more open, honest, and I kind of just sit down and talk to y'all, let me know. It's not my typical style of video, but I'd love to do more of these in the future if you guys want to see them. But it's been your boy Kaz. Thank you so much for watching all the way until the end of this one. I will catch y'all in the next video. Peace.